It's like a mystery going through all this history, trying to deal with life while moving through this music industry. It's like the energy takes control of us physically. Mind over matter, but the matter seems to be mentally. But yet we still be chasing rainbows, visibly looking for the gold at the end of the road endlessly. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how we make it from the bottom, but still be going under. Had to call my homeboy Tweed to get some game, trying to figure out the ways of the world and how we change. It's like we going through a phase in the maze when they take us out the cell, but still keep us in cages. We've been dealing with the same shit for ages, same lies told from these history book pages. Different names, but the same faces. So in turn, the same rainbows we keep chasing. Yeah.
Okay, are you ready? Alrighty, here we go. Welcome everyone to the G-Lew Show After Hours Live. Hold on one second. As you know, we have a very special guest tonight. Hold up, there we go. All right, we have a very special guest tonight, as you already know. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. Shout out to our producer, DD Hairston. What up, DD? Everyone in the chat tonight. Incredible Javier. Nothing but love. Thumper, everyone out there. We have a very special guest tonight. None other than Miss Corina, a.k.a. La Platona. She is here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome her to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. What's up, Corey? Welcome.
Not
How are you tonight?
too bad. Not too bad for a
Not
Friday.
okay, good. We need you in good spirits tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I worked 11-hour shift. So
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
11 hours.
I'm not too tired, but
How do you do it?
I don't have a choice.
Right. I guess so.
Yeah,
So,
I wake
oh,
up
go ahead.
at 4 to be at work at 6. So I got
Wow.
out of work like around 11 something. I mean 5 something. So
Wow. Well, give her another round of applause just for that. Wow. And then, so we thank you for being here with us tonight, because I know you're tired. You had a long day, so we really appreciate it. You know what I mean?
No worries.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead and tell the people, who don't know? Well, there's a lot of people in here who know you and all that, but for the people who don't know, give them a proper introduction of who Corina is, please.
Well, my name is Corina, but I go by Corey. Um, I
She
am
like, I
from
didn't
the
tell you
Harbor
you could call me
area.
that. You
From
like,
the
I didn't
Harbor
tell you you
area,
could call me that.
Wilmington.
Harbor,
Born and
Wilmington.
raised.
Okay.
And I've been
Okay.
here all my life, pretty much.
That's what I want to ask you. Tell us a little bit about growing up in Wilmington, how it was. I mean, Wilmington is a special place. You know,
Y-
it's surrounded
y-
by different cities. It's just like a cultural, it's just a special place. Tell us, please, about Wilmington and growing up there.
well, Wilmington. For those that don't know where Wilmington is located, it's like we're right on the borderline of San Pedro, Long Beach, Carson, Harbor City. Those are like more known areas in Wilmington. And I grew up. Oh, I've been here all my life. So I grew up on the east side of Wilmington. So I mean, Wilmington's very small. You have the east side, the west side, and the north side. So I
Right.
grew up in the east side of Wilmington, and my parents moved to Wilmington. I'll say when they were like in the early. My dad was probably like in his early 20s. Because when they came from Mexico, they were staying in Compton. So I don't know how they fucking found. I'm sorry, I don't know
It's okay.
how they found Wilmington. But yeah, they moved here when my parents were very young when they came from Mexico. So I think my dad was like in his early 20s. My mom was still in her late teens when they moved to Wilmington. And growing up in Wilmington, I was born in '86, so
Okay.
in the early '90s, it was really bad, just like in any other hood.
Right.
So I grew up right where like a lot of gang members used to hang around. So I witnessed a lot of stuff that I wouldn't want my kids to see. So it was pretty bad where we lived.
Um. I want to speak more about Wilmington and how it was as growing up there as a kid. But I noticed you mentioned in before in another interview that your brothers were gang related. I don't know, were gang related or whatever. Why didn't you ever were influenced or become gang related?
Yeah. Well, my I'm the second youngest out of six. So my four older siblings, they were gang related.
Right.
So during that time, when we were growing up, my siblings were very overprotective over me and my little brother. So they try to keep us away from that lifestyle as much as they could. I mean, I've seen it and that's all I've known, because we were just stuck in that area. So I didn't know anything different. So my older siblings, they did try to keep us from that lifestyle, but you could only do so much. When
Right.
you're surrounded by that, that's all you know. A lot of people are attracted to that. They want to be from somewhere, or people start looking up to gang members and they glorify the lifestyle. So, luckily for me and my little brother, we didn't end up doing none of that stuff because we moved. We moved. My
Okay.
parents moved us. So where we lived, there was hardly any gangs around us. So
But would you
I
say at
think
one point were you somewhat influenced or thinking about it at one time?
I was
Excuse me.
actually very young. I think I was nine
Okay.
years old when we moved from where we used to live.
Okay.
But since that's all I've known, I mean, I used to have like crushes on some gang members.
Right. Right. Right.
I never told anybody that, but yeah, I did.
Was it hard for you having older brothers who I'm sure were very overprotective of you and like ran a lot of guys away?
Very. I hated it with the passion, especially one of my older brothers who's 5 years older than me. He was like so overprotective. Like he wouldn't even let me look at a guy or have a guy look at me because he would talk shit.
Right. Would you say that made it like work like did that make you more intrigued and want to like being that you were so overprotective of and all that, did that make you want to more explore boys, or do you think that was a good or bad thing for you personally?
I don't even
Let's
know. I
talk
think it
about it.
was a good thing because
It was okay.
he made sure they stayed away from me.
Right.
So I was afraid to even talk to anybody because if they knew who my brother was, they wouldn't even try to talk to me.
Mm.
That's how bad it was.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, as
Wow.
soon as they will find out, oh, you're such and such sister, and we are like, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you.
Mm. Wow.
It was
So
that bad.
right. So what else about Wilmington was special? Because like you said again, you were like right there on the border of different cities, so you saw different things, different cultures. You were able to like, was that a good thing for you? What did you learn from that? Like growing up, like learning more about different things.
Well, where I grew up, it was mostly Hispanic. There was no other races around us. So when we moved from where I used to live on the east side, we moved to the north side of Wilmington.
Okay.
So I started seeing different races. So for me, it was like, damn, there's actually other people other than
Right.
my own people. So, well, my parents didn't really take us anywhere. So Wilmington, that's all I've known. You know, I have family in that stayed in Long Beach, and we would visit here and there. But Wilmington, that's all I've known. And you know, a lot of people when you mention Wilmington, be like, "Oh, Wilmington's so ghetto. Wilmington's is," and I love my city. You know, we're very unique. It's a very very small city compared to other cities that surround us. So I'm proud to be from Wilmington,
Right. Right.
and I
Um.
always say it with pride.
Go ahead. With pride. With us. What high school did you go to?
So I went to Banning High School.
Okay.
It's the only high school in Wilmington. I didn't graduate, of course, but from Wilmington, I went to a continuation school after that.
Okay.
So I didn't graduate high school, but I didn't graduate from Banning.
Yeah, I heard a lot about Banning always had like a good football team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Legendary
last time we
games.
won a championship was my freshman year of high school, which was in 2001,
Right.
a long time ago. I'm
That's what's
old, but
up.
not too old. I'm not
Right,
that
right.
old.
Nah, you're a youngster, really. How was it, like you said, with all brothers? Like, how was that for you growing up, like the only girl? Like, were you more of like a tomboy or were you girly? Like, how were you growing up like that around all boys?
Well, I do have an older sister.
Okay.
So yeah, I have four brothers and one sister. So I didn't really grow up with my sister because she moved with her boyfriend when she was very young. I think she was like 15 or 16 because she got pregnant young too. So I didn't grow up with my sister. I mean, she was around, but I didn't hang out with her that much because she was already, with her family doing her own stuff. So, but growing up with my brothers, I actually enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. They taught me so much, and I was a big tomboy, but I still had my girly side. I played sports with them. My brothers taught me how to fight. So I mean that I had its pros and cons.
Right, right.
So I mean I enjoyed until now. I even have a good relationship with all of my brothers, even my sister.
Right.
But I'm still a tomboy at heart. I have my girly side still, but I'm still a tomboy.
You seem like you have a girly side, but you really seem like you're a little bit intimidating, Corey. You know what I mean? So
How is that?
I don't know. You're a little intimidating, so I could see that side of you. You probably used to beat girls up and everything, huh? You're a little intimidating.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I
am. Okay.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that you are a Raiders fan. How long have you been a Raiders fan?
Well, Raiders. Hold on, give me a second.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna get interrupted a lot. I'm warning you right now about my baby. All of my families are Raider fans, so It's already in me. It's already in my blood.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what's up. What do you think about that trade we got?
Hold on, Devontae. Hold on, let me see.
What's up, everyone in the chat? Love Machine, what up? Incredible Javier, Fernie with the sauce. What's up, my boy? Any questions you have too for Corey, let me know. I'll ask her. She's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
I was saying, what do you think about that trade we just got?
Oh, from
the receiver
Packers?
from Green Bay, yeah.
Well, we shall see.
We shall see. Oh, yeah, right.
We shall see.
That's right.
A lot of people like to hype up players that we get, but until we see them in the field doing their thing, that's when we are able to judge.
Right. That's right.
I'm not a big Derek Carr fan.
Yeah, you've expressed that. I understand too.
I don't care for him
at all. Huh? He can go.
I don't.
But the thing is, if we get rid of him, who can we get?
I'm sorry, that what?
I said, who can we get like to replace him?
I don't know.
Okay.
Can you give me just 1 minute? I'm so sorry.
Okay. Hey, love, what's up? Why doesn't Corey like winning football teams? Oh man, that's a low blow, Javier.
I'm so
Raiders,
sorry. Every
man,
time I
champions.
do a live, that always happens.
Oh, it's okay. They're talking shit in the chat. Like Javier said, why doesn't Corey like winning football teams?
Oh my God! Please don't start.
Right.
You shouldn't even say anything, Javi. You don't even watch football.
Right. Exactly. What up, Big D? So yeah, she's a Raiders fan. That's a great thing as well. As far as growing up, like what were you influenced by, like far as anything, like were you into sports, like what, like were you into anything as a girl growing up before you got into trouble and did your thing and all that? But early, like,
I never got in trouble. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, what did you do as a youngster that had you like maybe early, like maybe I like this, sports, school, anything that had you like quote unquote on the right track?
Well, I was doing terrible my sophomore and junior year of high school. My freshman year, I was doing okay. But it was towards like the ending of high school. I started playing soccer. So that's when I was actually doing well in school. At least trying, right? So, and the person that got me into soccer was my dad. My dad's always been a big soccer fan since I can remember. since we were little kids, my dad always took us to his soccer games, and he had all of my siblings playing soccer. So my dad got me into soccer, but he tried getting me into soccer when I was a lot younger. I was probably like in middle school or so, but he wanted me to play with boys, and at that time I was not having it. I was very insecure about my body, and playing around boys, it made it even worse. So I told him that I didn't want to.
Right.
Until I got older and I started playing, and I actually enjoyed it. So that's when I started doing good in school, and I was playing for Banning. I played JV, which is, I was okay with it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I was into sports. I mean, I was a big tomboy, but I never really played on a team until I was a lot older.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, and that was because of my dad. And the only reason I stopped playing soccer was because I got pregnant for my son, my oldest son. And mind you, I was like 4 months pregnant, and I was a goalkeeper. And my parents didn't know I was pregnant. So I had to really tell my dad, because my dad was my coach as well.
Wow.
Because even though I was playing for Banning, I was still playing for an outside league that my dad coached. So when I got pregnant, I didn't tell my parents right away. So I was still playing soccer, and I played all the way till I was like 4 months pregnant.
Wow. So
and I was a goalkeeper, so I was doing like a whole bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing while I was pregnant. So
your dad was a coach. So why weren't you into soccer like from early, like as a baby?
Well, like I said, he tried to get me to play soccer when I was like in my early teens, but I didn't want to.
Okay.
I don't know why he didn't put me to play when I was a lot younger, because he did that with my brothers, not my sister. With all of my brothers, they played since they were like 5 years old. My dad started putting them in soccer teams, but I don't know why he never did it with me until I was a lot older.
Right.
I think if he would have put me to play when I was around that age, like 5 years old, I don't think I would have had a problem with it.
Right. So you mentioned that you got pregnant soon after or whatever. When did you start like I don't want to say, I don't know how to say it, like really seeking out boys or wanting to,
Well, I always did in high school, but I was very scared because
right,
Wilmington's very small, so everybody knows everybody. So I didn't want to date nobody or have boyfriends, because if my brother were to find out, it wasn't gonna be pretty.
Right.
So it was actually after high school when I started having boyfriends.
Was this that continuation or just after high school or just after Banning?
Actually continuation, because when I got pregnant from my son, I was in continuation school. I mean, I was working full time, and then after work, I would go to school.
Okay.
So I was doing both.
Right.
Yeah. So I got pregnant at 19, and of course my parents were not happy at all.
I'm sure they weren't. And how do you go from not only getting pregnant, but on top of that, like a black guy, right? Like, how does this happen? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, my parents always knew that I was attracted to black men.
Okay, so when did this? Okay,
they just
hold up, back up. So when did this start? Because like you said, you moved first. You never seen any black guys. So you guys, this happened when you moved, or when did this happen?
It happened when I went to Banning.
Okay. Because now you're seeing a lot of people.
When I went to Banning,
people, right?
It was a mixture of like a lot of different races.
Right.
We had Samoans, blacks, a few Asians, few whites, but it was mostly Hispanic.
Right.
So when I went to high school, that's when everything changed for me.
Right.
So, I mean, I started seeing different races. So, of course, you get attracted to different, whatever you
Right.
You
Right. Let's talk about it. What up, Big D?
and it's so
Let's talk
funny
about it.
because none of my friends were attracted to black guys, and I was like the only one.
Right.
So they were like, okay, like, how is it that you like black guys? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just attracted to them. Like, what's so
Right.
wrong with it?
You actually like, I don't know, you actually look, if you like look like you're, I don't know, like you could be mixed as well with some, I don't know.
I've been
Just
told
my
that
thought.
before.
You've been
I
told
don't
that?
get that a
Okay.
lot, but I've been told that before.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
my dad's very dark skin. So, like, back in the days, if you were to see my dad looked like he was black because
Right.
he had the afro going. My dad has curly
Okay.
hair, so he has some features that resemble like a black man.
Right.
And my brothers too. All of my brothers are dark skinned, well, except my little brother. But my two older brothers, they're dark skinned. So, yeah, when I was in high school, I started being around different races, so that's what I liked.
Right.
But I
Right.
mean, I don't, it wasn't that I only like black guys. I was attracted to the other different races, but I told my mom, like I was attracted to black guys. So, when I got pregnant, I told my mom, I was like, I don't even know why you're even surprised that I got pregnant by a black guy, but because my
But
parents,
unfortunately, it was. Go ahead. Go ahead.
because my parents, because I'm first generation, so my dad was very, very, what's that word? Machista.
Okay.
So he didn't believe in mixing races, or he always wanted his daughters to be just with the Mexican guy. But I
Right.
told my mom, I was like, you can't tell me who I can like. So I'm gonna like whoever I'm gonna like. But yeah, that was a big no-no for them. Well, mostly my dad.
Right.
Because he always tried to keep me in a bubble. He tried to like shelter me as much as he could, but you could only do that so much until your daughter's gonna go around and be wild. But
Right. Well,
yeah,
with this guy, well, I heard you speak about it briefly, but was there, what you said it wasn't much their relationship? I don't know. Was it someone that you just liked before this or whatnot? How did you guys come
no,
together? Okay. Okay.
no. It like on my previous interview with Javi, like I had, because not a lot of people knew about it. It
Mm-hmm.
was someone who was friends with a friend of mine,
Right.
and he ended up being married, which I didn't know, of course, and
He was married already?
he was married,
Oh, wow.
and his sixth baby mama.
Wow. Alrighty then.
He has 7 baby mamas, but I'm the 6th one. But
Wow.
anyways, no, I didn't know this individual. I didn't have any type of relationship with him prior, so it was what it was, and that's
Right.
just about.
Right. Okay, I didn't mean. I'm sorry. I just asked like, what was it about this guy or whatever? You know what I mean? Like
I mean, he
he was
was
special.
handsome.
Obviously, he was handsome. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so he when I got pregnant, I told him, and he pretty much didn't want anything to do with my son. So
Wow.
he's never been in my son's life or has acknowledged him or anything. So
Mm.
I've been doing that on my own since 19. So
Wow.
it,
Wow.
it
I
hasn't
mean,
been as easy.
right. Um, not only that, not being easy, but if we can speak about it briefly, like also your son has some special needs. I mean, how was that for you? Not only learning that that the baby daddy wasn't shit, you know what I mean, whatnot, but I don't mean to speak about him like that, but then finding out, later on, you had to take on this as well by yourself?
Um, you know, it didn't really hit me. Um, like raising my son on my own, it was pretty hard, but I've been very blessed that my parents have always been very supportive. And they've helped me out a lot with my son. Um, my son got diagnosed with autism at 2 years old. And at that time, they were doing diagnosis at such an early age. Right now, they do it at a later age. They wait until the kid is about 3 years old to diagnose them or do any type of assessment. So at that time, I think I was about to be 21. So I was still very young. And my sister was actually the one that told me that there might be something wrong with my son. And
So
this
initially
is
you
my
didn't
first
know.
kid, so I didn't know. This is my
Okay.
sister, she has other kids, and she started noticing some stuff that my son was doing, and she's the one that brought it to my attention. So I didn't say anything. I didn't get upset or anything. Some people do get upset when you tell them that there might be something wrong with their child.
Right.
A lot of people don't take it easy. So, I didn't make a big deal. I didn't say anything. I just made an appointment, with my son's pediatrician, and I told them what my concerns were and what other people were noticing. So from there, they just refer me to a regional center. For those who have special needs kids, they know what a regional center is.
Right.
And so I took my son, and they were able to diagnose him. And I think I was 21, and my son was about 2.5 years old. And at that time, honestly, it didn't really hit me. And I didn't really know what autism was. Because at that time, my son was still small, and so I still seen him as a baby, and I didn't really notice his developmental skills.
Right.
Because as when you see your child, you don't see anything wrong until they start growing, and you start noticing little things here and there that makes them different than other kids. So I don't think it really hit me much until now that he's older and that I'm seeing him grow. In 2 years he'll be an adult. So it's very devastating because I see other kids that are his age, and they're out doing stuff with their friends, and he's not able to do that.
Right.
So
Does he understand like all of this? How does he feel like, or how does he take in all of this? Being that he's older now, I'm sure he knows.
he doesn't really understand much. He has like a mentality of like a 3 or 4 year old, and sometimes he does act his age, so don't get me wrong. But for the most part, like if we go anywhere and he acts like a little kid, he doesn't act his age. So he doesn't understand that there are certain things that he does. To other people it might be weird, but to me that's my son, that's my baby.
Right.
So like if people were to tell him something or do anything to him, he's not going to be able to comprehend. So that's my biggest fear now that he's in high school, for him to get bullied or something to happen to him while I'm not there, because
Is that
I
a
don't know what
issue
I'll
too?
do.
Like, exactly, but do you have to feel like somewhat like you just said, be overprotective, like almost to the point where all the time you feel you have to be worried instead of letting him like be, or is that just a natural thing with you?
I think it
You
all
have to be
depends
that
on
way.
the setting we're at. Because I take him to amusement parks or to carnivals or to the OC fair, and I let him be himself. And that's something that he enjoys. And but there's other times where we'll go to certain places, and then he starts doing certain things that because my son, he's almost 6 feet tall, so he
Right.
does certain things that a little kid would do, and then I get stares, and that really bothers me because it's not only like they're looking at him. No, they like stare at him for a long time, and I make sure I keep an eye contact to whoever's staring at my son, and let them know, like, either you look away or I'm gonna say something.
Right.
And for the most part, they do. Like, they'll just like glance, and they'll just like look away. But it's I try to protect my kids as much as I can. Especially him. Because he's a tall guy. So if he's very friendly, so he'll go up to people and like wave at them or say hi to them. And for the most part, like, a lot of people just look at him like he's weird. So sometimes, like, I try to explain to them what he has and what he's
Right.
doing, so they won't feel like he's doing something weird.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm always like in protective mode all the
Right.
time.
I'm sure. I'm sure of it. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Um, I'm sure. When being that you went through this early and with your first child, did that make it like hard for you, or were you like paranoid, or almost in fear to have more children, like, or like how did you feel about that?
Yes, it did actually. So like I said, it didn't really affect me much when he was a lot younger, because I was still able to control him, because he was still small. But I was scared to have more kids. That's why when I got pregnant from my daughter, I was kind of hesitant in having another child, because I didn't want to go through it again.
Hmm.
And luckily my daughter, she's good, she's healthy. Um, but I didn't want to have any more kids after her. I was like, no, I'm done. That's
Hmm.
it. And I did end up getting pregnant again
These things
after.
happen. These things happen, huh?
Yeah. So, I after, once I got pregnant from my last son, I was actually scared, because I had a feeling he was gonna be a boy. So my biggest fear was, like, having another boy with the same
Right.
disability. And unfortunate, I he was also diagnosed with autism when he was 3 years old. So
Wow.
that's like, it's been crazy.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Second part. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but the difference between my youngest and my oldest, my youngest, he's more high functional, and then he's verbal. My oldest is nonverbal. So, but he has his ways to communicate with me. I mean, he has a few words here and there, but he's not able to really like express to me his wants and needs, or really tell me anything. It's he has a few words here and there. Like, if he wants something, like, he'll say whatever he wants, but he's not able to like have a complete sentence to tell me what he wants. My youngest one does. He's able to communicate with me better. But
And
yeah, it's been like,
how do they get along and like interact?
they interact pretty good, but my little one, he's the boss of him.
Mm,
He's the boss of the oldest one.
right. Right.
Yeah, but they get along really well for the most part.
That's beautiful. Does that make you even more want to, like, I don't want to bring this up, but I know you have a daughter that you mentioned before that things weren't the greatest. Does that make you want to more have her, be like, I'm sure she knows her brothers and the situation and all that, but does that make you like even more want to have her a part of your life and their lives?
I do, because she had a great relationship with my baby, with the youngest one, because they're 7 years apart. So ever since she was like 2 or 3 years old, she always kept telling me like, "Mom, I want a brother or a sister. Mom, I want a brother or sister." And I will always tell her, I was like, well, why don't you ask your dad? I'm not the only one that's able to have kids.
Right.
So when I told her that I was pregnant, she was very excited. So when I had the baby, she was always there helping me all the time. Even when I didn't feel good, she'll be like, Mom, don't worry about it. I'll take care of the baby. Go rest. And like she'll help me change his diaper and everything. So she loved her little brother. She didn't have a good relationship with my oldest son. She has her reasons. But I kind of feel that she had some type of I don't really want to maybe because she's seen that I paid more attention to my oldest than her because of his disability, that she kind of resent him a little bit more. But I try to talk to her and tell her that it's not that I prefer paying more attention to him. It's just that he needs more of me than she does. And I would also tell her that, she has her, you have your dad. He doesn't have his dad. So
right.
He's with me 24/7. So of course I show him more affection and I'm more overprotective than I was with my daughter. And I try to let her know, like, it's not that I don't want to show you the same love, but you kind of have to understand that he needs more of my attention. But I always try to show them both the same type of love.
Right,
I never made it seem like, oh, I like your brother more because he has a disability. I mean, I did pay more attention to my son because he needs constant care. So there's no way I can leave my son by himself. So versus like my daughter, if I wanted to go and do an errand for whatever reason, because my mom lives next door, so I would tell her, do you want to stay or do you want to go with me? And for the most part, she'll be like, oh, I'll just stay, just wait for you to come back. Which right. I can't do that with my oldest son. I'll leave my son with my mom or I will take him with me. So, I try to kind of explain to her for her not to feel like neglected
right
by me. But I mean, hopefully one day she's able to understand.
She will. She definitely will. I think whatever, I don't know the situation she's going through it, but eventually, I think so. You know what I mean? Eventually, just have to give it time,
Yeah.
But love conquers all, and that's your daughter. You're a mother, so
And she's my only daughter, so I'm really hoping, one day she's able to.
She will.
To forgive me, But...
She will. She probably already has, but sometimes we have a tendency to be stubborn. You know what I mean, as humans. So.
Oh, she has my attitude. She has my attitude, so I can see why.
You see there.
I will always tell her, you look like your dad, but you have my damn attitude.
Right.
Yeah,
right. That's beautiful. On the flip side, since I got you laughing, let me ask you this. On the flip side, you have a very funny comedic. I always tell you that you're a low key comedian. So tell us about your comedic side. Obviously you have to laugh to all the pain, and all that. But where did you get this comedic? You're a comedian. Where did you get this from? And
I don't know. I don't know. It just. I've always
if
been
you follow her
on
his IG, it's crazy. Those stories she puts is crazy. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I even tell my mom, I was like, Mom, the day that I die, you're probably going to be very sad. I was like, because nobody else is going to make you laugh like I make you laugh.
Wow.
But I'm the jokester of the family. I clown on everybody.
That's what's up. She is hella funny. She is I'll be like, wow. Yeah, you are hella funny.
I don't like people to be too uptight. You know, you have to have a sense of humor.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and there's people that take my memes very seriously, and I'm just like, dude, they're just for laughs. Like,
Right.
if you think that whatever I'm posting, I'm doing it because it has to do with me, I was like, no, I just post it because I just find them hilarious. And if you
Right.
take it serious, then that's your problem.
Right. Crazy. You gotta follow her though. She's funny. Like she has me laughing. So but back on the flip side, you know, being that you I mean, you have your kids, two of them with special needs. Um so like I said again, back like as far as your love life, now that comes with like you said, I heard you say it earlier, but like, you know, someone that comes into your life, they have to be you know, prepared for all of this. But before we get to all of that, how do you feel personally? Like love, all that. Like, is it hard for you to trust again? Hard for you to love? Do you still believe in real love? Do you think you can be like love? Like, or did you ever even picture before you became a single mother one day you would be married? Or how did you think your future would be as a woman?
Oh my God. Definitely not having 3 baby daddies.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of people, you know, like when they bring it up, they think that they're like, that I get offended in any type of way. And honestly, I don't, because it's something that I did. You know, it was my choice.
That ain't nothing
So,
new. Every shoot. I mean, not to say it like that, but that is, you know, as we all know, plenty moms and you know, it is what it is. You know.
yeah, no, true. But I mean, prior, you know, when I was dating my daughter's dad, I wasn't really looking for a boyfriend, you know, because I wanted just to concentrate on me and my son.
Right.
But he was very persistent and like he wanted me to be his girlfriend. So that was like my first real boyfriend, the first guy that I ever brought around my family. I thought I was in love. I was very young. I was 22 when I met him. So I thought I was in love, and I was with him for well, like 3.5 years until I just finally had enough. You know, I think I've always been more mature.
Right.
So, you know, I really wanted to like settle down and get married. And, you know, his plans were different than mine, of course. You know, and I was a breadwinner in the relationship, and I just got tired of supporting him financially. So, you know, I was very devastated because I wasn't able to provide a family for my oldest son. So I wanted to do that with my daughter. So I tried to stick with him as long as I could to make it work.
Right.
And I will always tell him like I could only do so much for you until I reach my breaking point. You know, and I did have a lot of love for him. And you know, I at that time I was in love with him.
Right.
Um well, you know, eventually things didn't work out, and it wasn't because of me. It was just I got tired of it. You know, not only was I supporting him financially, he was an alcoholic as well. So I didn't want to be with somebody who had a habit and couldn't even support me financially. And not that I was expecting him. I will never expect a man to support me in any kind of way, but not to fuck me over either. So you know, things happened with him, and you know, we separated. You know, I did date someone else almost a year after I was with him. So I was in another relationship with the guy. He didn't have kids. You know, we were together for the same almost close to 4 years. He didn't have kids. He didn't want kids.
Right.
He accepted me with both of my kids at that time. He knew of my son's disability, and he welcomed him with open arms. Um, you know, there was times where certain things would bother him about my son, and he would tell me that I needed to discipline him physically, and I would tell him, you know, that's your way of disciplining,
Right.
not my way. So
Right.
because his mom put hands on him all the time because he was a bad kid. So
Right, right.
that's all he knew. So he would tell me, he's all like, well, this is the way you need to discipline him. And I would tell him, that's your way, not my way. So,
So you
I mean, we
clash, you
had our
guys
issues
clash with
here and
that.
there,
Right.
but it was never anything major. Eventually that relationship didn't last either. Um, he tried coming back, but I kind of I was fed up because, again, I was with a person who was not financially stable, and I was doing putting more on the
Do
relationship than he was. So
Okay, let me ask you this because I know this happens a lot with females too, right? When you come into a relationship or a situation with a guy or whatever, new guy, whatever, like you said, being that you're the type, you seem to me to be that type, not you are, but financially stable, on top of your business, all that, right? So you come into a relationship already, like, you can't do shit, I'm good, whatever. So you may just like him for him, you know what I mean? Accept him for him. He may seem like he has it together or whatnot. So, we never know things until later, you know what I mean?
no, most
Whatever.
definitely.
So do you think that is an issue as well too? Or sometimes women not saying they don't know their worth, but like when you come in, it's not about the worth because you come into a situation like you said independently. I'm not expecting anything from you, but at the same time, you want him to be, you know, to be able to not only carry himself but you too as well, if need be or whatever. And then you find out this is not the case. What do you? Why do you think that happens?
Well, I can
Or
only
you choose
speak.
these type of people? Not that you choose them. You don't know who someone is.
I I could only speak for myself, and for me is because they accept me with my children. I
Right.
give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Okay.
So, I
Okay.
mean, I dated broke fools. Like, they didn't even have a car.
Wow.
So,
So you feel, hold on. So you feel sometimes too, this can be kind of like a problem, like uh, being that, like you said, you will accept someone, like you said, if they accept you and you feel that they accept you and your kids, like, and like they're genuine and like they accept me and my situation, like they will get a pass for that. Okay, I got you. All
yeah.
right. All right.
So, I mean, if they could accept me with my children, how come I can accept them for who they are
Right.
and what
Right.
they bring to the table? But like I
But
said,
you
you
still who
have your
you are
limits
though.
until you
Right.
finally say, you know what, enough's enough. Like, how much longer can you tolerate that? And I'm not going to speak bad about this individual because, he did help me out, when I needed help.
Hmm.
And, he was a good friend, not only a good partner, but a good friend. But, there was things that we needed to fix. And at that time, he wasn't willing to fix it. But when he tried to fix it, it was already too late. I was already like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore." I mean,
Right.
if he were
Right.
to reach out to me now, I'll probably give it another try, but I highly doubt he will.
So that means he was special. This guy here was special. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I mean, he's even now.
go
My
ahead.
mom's all like, "You should have just stayed with him," and I'm just like,
Mhm.
"It wasn't my choice. It was pretty much he wasn't ready to be in a serious relationship."
Right, right. Do you sometimes um like you said, being that you've been through some bad situations or whatnot, or been with guys like you said who really didn't deserve you? Do you feel sometimes you like don't give yourself enough credit? Like I have to settle or do this or that because my situation. Besides the fact that you're still a great, beautiful woman and all this, do you feel that I'm just being real. Do you feel that you like, you know what I mean? Don't give yourself enough credit or lowball yourself. Like I gotta just deal with whatever just because.
Yeah, I do actually. But
Okay, let's talk
I
about it.
think that's why now my relationships don't last
Hmm.
because I'm not going to settle just for anything now.
Right, right.
And this is the reason I'm single now because I just felt like it was always me putting more in the relationship than this other individual. And I don't want to speak bad about him because some people in the chat know him,
Okay.
but I just couldn't deal with it. I just, I had enough, and I told him, I was like, I'm sorry, but
That's
I'll
my
be
thing.
forever, I'll be
Why
forever
is
thankful that you accepted me with my children. And
right?
two with having two kids with a disability, it's not easy for somebody to welcome it with open hands, because not everybody's going to be able to tolerate it or stick by you. So I mean, besides that, I'm very thankful, and I told him, told him plenty of times, that I will be forever grateful that he was able to accept me with my children. But I guess because he felt that I was well off financially, well, better than him, that I was supposed to be paying
Right,
for
right.
everything, and I don't think it's fair. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, you say he
like I
felt?
said,
Oh, wow. Okay. So
I don't.
again, see, again, this could be a problem. When you come into a situation like you said, and see, first already that's somewhat not intimidating to certain guys. You know what I mean? When a woman is really independent, like she don't need anything from you. So um, that's intimidating. But when, like you said, it turns to where they feel that like it's they're taking advantage of the situation. Yeah, that's a problem. They should
Oh,
want to be
most
better.
definitely.
You know what I mean? You should inspire if a woman gets with you and she's independent, well off, and all that, and she likes you for you, she should be inspiring you because that shows that she likes you for you, right?
Exactly. That was my point exactly with this individual.
Yeah.
I mean, and he told me, from the very beginning when we started dating, like, he told me straight up, I'm a broke motherfucker. I don't have shit to offer you. But,
Oh, he
and
told
I
you that.
told him,
Okay, well,
and I told him, I was all
let's
like,
talk
look,
about it. Go ahead. Oh my God.
and I told him, I was all like, you know what? I've dated a lot of broke motherfuckers. So you will
Right.
not be my first or last,
Right.
but maybe my last. Let me put that.
Right. Yeah, we got to change some things, Corey. We got
um,
to we got to get some things in situated here.
yeah, but yeah, like I just felt like he took advantage of the fact that I was willing to be more of the male in the relationship, because I've always been more of a giver than the receiver.
Right. Right.
So I don't care who I've dated, I'll make sure my man's well taken care of. And I think that's my fucking problem too, because I
Mm.
think most guys will take advantage of
Wow.
it.
Wow. I mean, a guy should appreciate that and just add if because like I said again, that shows you that you like them or love them for them. You know what I mean? And you're all in, so that should make them come all in and I don't know. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but
I
I don't
I
know.
give up in the dating life. I really don't.
So
I
yes, that goes back to my question. So what is the question is, do you still believe in love, true love, real love? You think you can ever love again?
Oh, most definitely, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'm not one to push love away,
Hmm.
but I'm not looking for it. At least not now. It's
Right.
just hard dating. I've
I
been,
feel you.
I've been prior to my last relationship, I was single for almost 5 years, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being by myself, and I
Right.
will date here and there and nothing serious, but it's just being in a committed relationship. It's
It's a
hard.
lot. It's a lot.
And
It's a
I'm
lot.
very independent, so I don't like anybody telling me what to do, or
Right.
like, you're not supporting me financially or paying none of my bills, so I don't see why you
Right.
need to
Right.
tell
Right.
me what I
I
can
get
and
it.
cannot
I
do.
get it. I get it totally. That's why I asked you. But on the flip side of that, do you think being too independent and too pro like that sometimes is good? But you're still a human and you still have your feelings and everything. Do you think that can be a problem? That I mean, sometimes it's a problem too, right? Like, what do you do for that? Like when it's times that you think about it and you're like, well, I'm good, but really, I want to feel loved right now. You know what I mean? What do you do about that?
Mm, um,
Okay. You don't have to answer.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's, a few guys that will want to be in a relationship with me, but I push them away because I just feel like they're not ready to be
Right.
with somebody like me.
Right. Right.
And by that, I mean that I cannot give you 100% of me all the time because of my boys. So
Right.
that's what I'm afraid of, because if I give someone an opportunity, because this is what I tell them. I think you love the idea of me, but I think once you're in a relationship with me, you're not going to be able to tolerate it. So that's why I push a lot of guys away, because I don't want to get hurt again and I don't want to hurt them. And I don't want them to throw shit in my face later on telling me, oh, well, like we can never do things together because of my boys. So if you don't understand my situation, and if you can understand that I come with the big package, then I'm sorry, I'm not the one for you.
Right. Right.
And some people are willing to give it a try, but for the most part, I push them away because I'm
And
just
that's
scared.
right. Right.
I'm just scared. My
And
last relationship, which was with my last baby daddy, that really messed me up mentally.
right.
I've never knew what a heartbreak was until this individual really
Mm.
did me dirty, not once but twice.
Mm.
So the second time
That's why
was when
she's
I
all
was
fucked up
pregnant.
now.
So
That's why she's the boss. Hey. Hey. Man. Yeah. This man. Um. Wow. And does that make you like also like you said with I'm sure you meet a lot of guys and you can like almost smell the bullshit a mile away, right? Or not that part, but maybe like you like you said it yourself. Maybe you like the fact of, or the thought of me and you or whatever, but you're not ready for all of this though.
I don't think that it's not that I'm not ready. I don't think
No,
they're ready
them,
for it.
them. That's what I'm saying. Like they're not. They think they are.
Yeah, I mean they think they are, but they won't know until they really try it. And this is not for everybody.
Right.
I think if my kid's situation would have been different, then my dating life would be easier per se. But since I do have two kids with special needs, I'm scared. I'm really scared because
Right. As you should be.
um I'm always like on the defense mode. Like anybody
Right.
that and I'm not the type of female that brings different guys around my kids. I mean, yes, I do have 3 baby daddies, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I bring every guy that I dated around my kids. No, unless I know it's gonna be something serious, and I will bring you around my kids. But if I know that it's just gonna be dating or casual dating, then there's no way in hell I'm gonna bring you around my kids or around my family.
Right.
Unless you want something serious, and that's different. But other than that, I don't bring nobody around my kids unless I know for a fact that it's somebody that I feel comfortable and somebody that I know um, is going to be with me for for a while.
Right. Right.
So other
As
than
you
that,
should.
I don't I don't bring nobody around my kids.
Right. How was it
So
for you? Like you work a lot of hours, and I'm sure you come home and want to have to spend time with your kids. You know what I mean? How do you? Well, of course you have to balance it, but how do you balance it mentally and with everything going on, and still get up and put your big girl panties on and go do the damn thing for 11 hours every day with a smile and fly too.
um I don't know. You know what? I don't even know how I do it sometimes. I get up, I get ready, go to work. Sometimes when I'm at work, I'm already mentally freaking drained, and then I have to come home and deal with my kids, make sure, I get them ready for bed. And that's my routine every day. That's
Right.
my routine every day. So sometimes it's, I just take a day by day. I don't even try to think about tomorrow sometimes. And, when I do think about tomorrow, I'm more mentally drained. So there's times where I don't even know how I do it, and I have to be, like I said, I'm very, very thankful, for my parents, especially my mom, because she helps me out a lot. So, this whole time I'm at work, my mom, she's, helping me take care of my kids. So there's times where she'll call me, she'll be like, "Are you almost out?" And it's like, "No, give me a few minutes, I'm almost done." And then she'll be like, well, "Hurry up, because I'm already tired."
Right.
So then, I get home and I still attend to my kids. But, I'm very thankful because my mom feeds my kids, so I don't have to come home and make dinner. So that's one less thing that I have to worry about, right?
Shout out to moms.
So yeah, like I get home and I start getting my kids ready for bed, make sure they're showered and ready for bed. And then sometimes I don't even go to sleep until like 11 o'clock and have to be up by like 4:30 in the morning. So yeah, sometimes I
Wow.
get up and I'm still tired from the day before.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Superwoman, like Rosie said, she is a superwoman doing an
Yeah, so
amazing
when the
job.
weekends come, I make sure I'm doing stuff with my kids because I work long hours, and then my kids, they wait for me till I get home, and it's, I just don't want to have them like in the house and not doing anything, because that's not fair for them that I work so
Right.
much and then they still have to, be stuck at home. So I try to do as much activities and take my kids out wherever I can. So
Right. I
my
see this.
weekends are
Like I
always with
said,
my
you're a
kids.
great mom. She's like the best mom. Does take kids everywhere. But on the flip side, what does Corey do for her? Like, do you any free time? Like, what do you like to do on your any little time that you get? What does Corey like to do?
I don't even have a social life no more. I
Well, I
literally
mean,
have
even by
no social
yourself,
life. So
like I got a little bit of time today for me. Kids are with mom. Like I'm off today. What does Corey do?
go get my nails done. That's about it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's my thing. Getting my nails done, that's like the only time I get to really relax and enjoy myself.
Right.
And I get my nails done every 2 or 3 weeks, so that's like once or twice a month.
Right. That's what's up. Yeah, she is the nail queen.
I am.
The nail
Everybody that
queen.
knows me, they know me because of my nails. So
Crazy.
I mean,
Um,
other than that, like
Go
before I
ahead.
had my son, I used to go out a lot. So I'm not gonna
Hmm.
say, oh, I don't have a social life. Now I don't. Before I did.
Hmm.
Before I used to go out every other weekend with my friends, have a few drinks here and there. Um, go on dates.
Hmm.
But now I don't even do that. I'm a lightweight, so I'm good like with 3 beers and I'm already feeling buzzy wuzzy.
Right. That's crazy. Javier says she sings. She does karaoke. Hey,
Oh,
what up,
please
Javi?
don't have me sing right now.
No, I won't do that. I won't do that to you. But you won the karaoke right the other week. That was pretty good. Um, but speaking of music, wait. Speaking of Javier, right? What up, Javi? How did the relationship? Because that's how I first seen you too. Like I always said, that's my
Oh,
favorite
with Javi.
moderator. Yeah. You were like, she's like, I'm just a moderator at first, right? Now you're famous. But how did the relationship with Javier come about? You hooked up with the homie.
Oh, I don't even know if I told Javi this or not, but I had watched his interview with Gil, American Cholo.
Hmm.
And I don't even know how I came across his channel actually, but I seen his interview and I had no idea what the youth authority was. So I was intrigued, and when he kept talking about it, I was like, "What the fuck is CYA?"
Hmm.
So that's when I started watching his channel, and I noticed that he started doing lives. I think Wednesdays. So I was always on the live chats, but I will never comment on it because I was like the only girl. I wouldn't see any other girls like commenting on his lives. So I was
Right.
kind of like embarrassed. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck is CYA, and everybody's talking about, because
Right.
that's what he first started talking about. Him being
Right.
in
Yeah.
CYA.
Right.
So I didn't have a clue what it was. I mean, I grew up in the hood. My brothers were gang members, but I had no clue what CYA was. I heard about juvie, and that's about it. So I was really intrigued, and I didn't even know these institutions existed. So, I was always on the lives, but I was always scared to like comment it on his live. So once I started doing it, I was always the only girl, and everybody, started knowing me because I was always the only girl that was on the live. So that's how it came about. And Renee, I don't know if he's on the live right now or not. He started calling me patrona, and they just stuck with me ever since then.
Okay, Renee. Okay.
Yes.
That's what's up. Shout out to the homie Renee, because that's legendary now.
And then I met Javi when he started doing the hikes. I think it was the second time he did a hike. And I told him that I was going to show up. And I took my oldest son with me on the hike. And that's when I had met my ex-boyfriend. I met my ex-boyfriend, and I met Dopey, and I met Irv. Irv took his son that day too. Right. Yeah, Irv took his son that day too. His son has special needs as well. So, it was nice, because they took Dopey took his wife and his kids too. So that was the first time meeting them as well.
Right. That's beautiful, man. Shout out to Javier, man. That's
and I met Rosie that day as well.
Yeah, and he's just he's a good guy.
Yes, he is. And ever since then, like after that, when he started doing more hikes, I was always there. Like events that he will have, I try to show up and show support. And I started buying his when he started coming up with his merch, I was supporting him with his merch as well. So from there, he had asked me, if I wanted to get interviewed by him a few months, sometime last year, when he brought it up, I wasn't ready because I was going through some issues with my daughter at that time. So I wasn't really ready to share my story. Right. And, he understood, and, he told me, he's like, whenever you're ready, for your interview, just let me know. And, I told him like a week or 2 weeks, before my interview with him, I told him, what, I'm ready to tell my story. And I think everybody has a story to tell, it's just other people go through so much than others. And
you
I want to say
people.
that I went through a lot, but my story can't compare to what Javi went through on CYA or what Beaver went through in CYA, because, I started following Gil's channel, and when I heard Beaver's story too, I was like, what the I couldn't believe these places existed for these kids. And
right.
My son at that time was 15 years old. So when they were sharing their stories and they were talking about how old they were at that time, I started thinking about it like, damn, they were my son's age. So I still look at my son like a baby. So I can just imagine what their moms were going through.
Right.
Not knowing what their kids were going through in there. So, I mean, it was crazy.
Those were different times there.
Even now, I still can.
Yeah, and me as well with Javi's channel with the CYA stories, that like had me hooked as well when I first started like watching. I was like, wow, I told him this is my favorite channel right now, bro. Shout out to Javier, man, and all of his accomplishments, and he continues, like he didn't stay on that, you know what I mean? He's expanded and doing great things. So shout out to Javier, bro. Much love.
And the good thing about him, like one thing I do like about him is that he tries to involve all the people that are in his live chat. So like even now with me, when I still owe him that to do a voiceover for his what is it called, his cartoon thing that he has going on right now. So I'm gonna be doing a voiceover too. So we'll see how that goes.
The VSOs, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I try to get involved as much as I can, on his channel or anybody's channel. But,
man, Javier is dope, man, and just a great dude, and congratulations on your first episode of your cartoon. It's dope. Yeah.
And because of him, I'm able to interview. I'm able to get interviewed by you. So
right. Thank you. Nah, but the interview you had on Javier Low, that was like, man, you had us over here like, man, I had to be like, wow, I had to do that a couple times, man. It
Yeah,
was
you know what? I
real
was
deep.
talking to D1. I don't know if he's on the chat or not before the interview today. And he's all like, Corey, you better not cry. And I told him, I was all like, I'm not gonna cry. Because
Yeah,
there's
that's
certain parts of my life, that I don't wish upon anybody. There's things that I went through that I really, I just hope my daughter never goes through it. So if I can share my story and help any girl that's out there, you know, at least I did my part some way. At least I'm here. At least I know that I was put in this earth for a reason. If my story can help out anybody, at least I know I was meant to be here.
right,
So,
right.
um, just my advice to any girl out there: just don't settle for any guy that just treats you good or talks sweet to you, because I think you need to value yourself more than anything. So I I wish I could have told myself this when I was a lot younger.
Mhm.
Maybe I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in, but at the same time I don't regret it because it's made me the person who I am now.
Right.
I'm not going to settle just for anything now, and I feel that if I have a lot to bring to the table, the person should, whoever I'm with, should also be doing the same thing and not just make me feel that I'm the one that's doing everything. So, um,
Mm.
that's why I
That's
just
good.
rather be with myself for
Right,
right
right,
now.
right. I get it. I get it. Trust me, I get it totally. Um, what is in the future for Corey? Like, what do you what do you have any like goals you're setting for yourself? You want to do other than personal things or whatever? Like, what do you see as in the future for Corey?
um, I do see myself moving out of state for sure.
Mm.
That's I always wanted to experience the countryside. I
Hmm.
know my ass is not going to be able to tolerate it, but just to experience that. Something about like that southern hospitality or the southern states like
Right.
really catches my attention. I don't think I will be able to manage living there for such a long time, but I would love to experience that. Hopefully one day I'm able to like buy a house somewhere over there. But then I think about the weather and then how they have it worse. I mean, you cannot compare California weather to any other state.
Right.
No, we are
Facts.
very spoiled. And I know a lot of southern states, they go through hurricanes, through tornadoes, and all these mother nature, or what's it called, natural disasters. And I
Right.
really don't want to experience that, but I do want to at least give it a try to live like in a southern state. I don't know
So,
what
you
it
have
is
any
about
places
that,
in
but
mind?
huh?
You have any places in mind already?
Um,
Or we can't let the cat out the bag?
I mean, like Tennessee, Louisiana,
Mm.
um, maybe like North Carolina or South Carolina, like
Mm.
somewhere in that. Um, I don't think I would like to live in a big city. If I were to move to another state, I think I would like to be more, like I said, like experience that
Right. Right.
countryside.
Right.
Because like here, everybody knows everybody, and I would love to own a house with a lot of acres, and just have my kids running outside with no worries. And
Right.
you can't
Right.
really do that here.
Right. Right. Right.
Even having my kids in the front yard, I'm always like constantly keeping an eye on them. So
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
never safe anywhere you go anyway. So
But I get it though. You just want to witness. You just want peace.
I do. I really do. I
Peace.
think the last couple of years have been very, very um I'm not gonna say horrible, but they were bad years. I did suffer from depression a
Hmm.
lot, and it's something that I don't want to go through again because it fucks me up. It did fuck me up mentally, and I don't really wish that upon nobody. And I never seek help. I dealt with it on my own. So
Hmm.
um, having two kids with a disability on top of that, not being mentally there all the time and going through a depression, it really took a toll on me a lot. And I could say I'm in a good place right now. I mean, I'm not 100%. I think because of my daughter, I don't feel 100%. I don't feel complete, but as of right now, I'm content with what I have.
Who do
I could
you who do
I
you
could have more, but um I'm okay with it right now.
right? Who do you like? Is there anyone you can lean on? I know you said you're close with your mom. Is there anyone like you lean on, or for any type of support, not for pity or just to talk to, but just anyone that you can count on to be there, like, at any time, just to console, or lay your head on their shoulder or whatever. You know what I mean? When you're going through everything you're going through.
Yes, I do. I have a friend. Like anytime I'm going through anything, you know, I know if I call him, he'll understand me. And just because he's gone through some similar stuff that I've gone through, so he's my go-to person. Because he's been able to, like, he helps me out a lot. He talks
Right,
to me. He always tells me everything's gonna be fine, and that's my shoulder to cry on.
right, right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's why I asked you, because you need that.
I
Somebody.
do. I do have my best friend, but she's married. She has her own things going on.
Hmm.
And my sister did tell me, she's all like, oh, whenever you feel like talking, or you feel some type of way, you can go ahead and give me a call. But it's not the same. It's not the same when you talk to somebody that doesn't understand your situation versus someone that does, because they're going to be able to understand you more
Right, right.
and are going to be able to tell you exactly how things are or could be. So, yeah, that's the one person I lean to. And, he's a great guy, and he's been trying to be more than a friend, but I can't.
Right. Well, well, that's how it goes when you have these guy friends that are good friends. You know, they think, why can't we be better friends? You know, hey, I don't,
No.
hey, hey. Let me see. Pam said, ask her if she ever forgave herself.
Forgave myself
I don't know,
for.
just for maybe not giving yourself enough respect on your name. Like, forgave yourself for settling for less.
I mean, no, because I'm still doing it.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So I beat myself up for that because I know I should do better and I know better, but then I always go back to my old ways. So um I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Like, some men just, I think what it is the mother in me. When I date these men that don't have more to offer than what I have to offer, that I'm like, women are nurturers by nature. So we want to be that
so
person
you
that.
like that? Like that you um I can, nurture, do for you, like, or I'm, you know, is that, can we say that? Do you like that being that type, like the one in control? Is it you want to be in control, or do you just like to nurture or take care of a guy if you really like him?
Probably
What is it?
because I guess it has to do a lot because I'm so independent that I guess if I meet a guy that doesn't have much to offer me, that I have more
So
control
what if
of
you
the
meet a guy who
relationship.
has more to offer and he really likes you? Would you be intimidated by him?
Yes, because I've had that happen, and I pushed
Oh,
them away.
wow. So why do you think like so that's the problem. We have to go to the root of the problem. That seems where it is. Like somehow you like being in I don't want to say you like it, but you're in these same situations with people or guys that you are um better off than or more in control of the situation financially or stability wise, and you like that, right?
To a certain
Let's talk
extent.
about it.
um, I
Hmm.
guess because I've dated guys who made hella good money,
Right.
and I kind of pushed them away because I don't want them to see me as this. Oh, well, I have more to offer than she does, so um, I can let her go whenever I want. Because she doesn't have anything to offer me, and I have more to offer. Um, and like I was talking to this guy. He's the same age as I am. He has his own house. He makes a lot of money,
Hmm.
and he was trying to be in a relationship, but to me it was like, oh, he makes a lot of money and I don't make that much, so
So do
I
you
kind
think
of was embarrassed by it, because
oh,
I
you
always
can't
been the one that always made the most money from whoever I dated. So it is intimidating. So I can see why a guy could be intimidated by me, knowing that I make more money than them. So I mean, and I don't want to make this about money because I'm not that type of person.
right,
I've
right,
never
right,
been that type of person.
right.
Um, like I said, I've always been more of a giver than a receiver. Like even when a guy tries to buy me stuff, I always been like, you don't have to buy me anything. But I mean, if you're my boyfriend and I'm buying you stuff and I'm like spoiling you, then I want that in return sometimes too. Like I
Right.
just don't want to give and I receive anything. You know what I mean? So because it does feel nice, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to buy me expensive stuff. Like just a simple like flower arrangements or a card or anything that's very, for me, like romantic. I mean, I think that's good enough.
Is it safe to say, let me ask you this. Do you think you have ever, because it seems like you were in love or thought you were in love or wanted love, do you think have you been yet to really experience real love?
No.
Okay. Okay.
um I would say with my last relationship, the father of my last kid, um from all of my relationships, I would say that he's that individual that I really loved the most, that I felt in my heart that just because when things went bad, I did experience a heartbreak. And I
Hmm.
never felt that before, because I did picture myself being with him for a long time. Because he's the one that brought up getting married and having more kids and doing things with me and my children. And no other guy has ever said that to me. No other guy, ever told me like, oh, you're the person that I want to marry. Oh, you're the person that I see myself spending the rest of my life with. So he was the first individual that ever told me this. So I don't know if it was because it was my first time hearing it from a guy that I felt like I was in love with him, or was it because I was really in love with him.
Mm.
But that I could say that I've been in love, like can't eat, can't sleep type of stuff. No, I haven't experienced that yet.
but I mean, not even. I mean, because sometimes we get love confused with other things, right? But I mean, really love like heart, soul, but like everything, like like you said, really complete. When you're really in love, like you really feel complete.
Um, no, I haven't had that yet. I mean, because I mean, if you really think about it, in the beginning of relationship, I don't care who you date, you always have that honeymoon
Right, right,
stage, you know, and you
right,
feel like, oh my God, this is it for
right,
me, this is it for me. But you know, as time goes by and you really start seeing this person and how they really are, you know, sometimes that changes. And that's what I've experienced in my you know, previous relationships. Like, you know, everything's so good in the beginning, and then afterwards, when you really start, you know, knowing that person that you're with, you'll be like, is this the person that I really want to spend the rest
right,
of my life
right,
with? And I
right.
always, that's one thing about me, and I hate that. That whoever I start dating, I start thinking, is this a person that I really feel like I want to spend the rest of my life with? And I always say no.
Right, right, right. I get it. I get it. I get it, and that's a good thing and a bad thing because, like you just said, you once you've been a single or independent long enough or whatever, like you said, you almost become, not to sound weird, but picky almost. Like not only picky, like trying to say about someone else, but about yourself. Like I'm picky about me, what I want, and you know what I mean. And you become used to doing what you do and not having problems and headaches, and sometimes that brings that, and especially if it's not the right one, you know, and you put in all this time. That's the worst when you put all the time in and then you find out it's not what it was cracked up to be, right? And you feel like you wasted your time, energy, love, everything. You know,
Yeah. Because this is one thing I told the last person that I was being with. This is one thing I told him, and this is right when, you know, I broke things up with him.
hmm
I told him, look, you're a great person, and I love the person that you are. But in reality, if something were to happen to me, I'm not going to be able to depend on you to take care of me or my kids. Versus if something were to happen to you, you have it made with me because you wouldn't have to worry about anything. Right. And, you know, of course, he's a lot younger than I am. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm already going towards my 40s. You're barely in your 30s. So I don't have time, you know. You still have time, I don't. And I just
Right.
see it that way because, you know, I know what I want, and I just don't want to settle just for anything. You know, if I was in my 20s, maybe my early 30s, I would have been fine with his situation. But because I'm already reaching my 40s, like, I just don't want to be stuck being the breadwinner and taking care of a man that can't take care of me. And not that, like I said, I don't want to make it about money, but I've been doing this shit since my early 20s. Like, I've always taken care of a man that, you know, for once, I at least want to experience that back. You know,
Right.
like I
Right.
said, I don't need a man to take care of me, but I don't want a man to take advantage of me as well. So,
So how do you go about that? Like moving forward, I'm sure you're open, but not open to, you know, meeting, like, and then I'm sure you get a lot of the BS. A lot of people flood you. I'm sure trying to holler at you, but like you said, you know what you want. So how do you like cipher through all of that and know when something is real or not? Or you like how does that work?
I just go based on actions. So I
Right.
know I know that if I pay attention to red flags,
Right.
not all the time, but I do. So when I know, you know, somebody's just trying to be with me just to be with me, and by being with me is in that type of way, I'm just like, no, I'm not interested. Because if you can't take me out on a date, but yeah, you want to sleep with me, no, I don't think so.
Right. Right.
So, I don't know. It's now it's hard to say, because of what happened in my last relationship. I don't even think about it. I just don't. You know, as humans, we have our needs, and sometimes you just want to like talk to somebody and share your day with a certain person, and just go out and have fun. But sometimes it's like, do you really want to go through all that shit again and
Right, right,
not work?
right.
But I mean, I can't say everybody's the same. Eventually, maybe one day I would meet somebody, but I just don't want to make that much of. I don't want to focus too much on that, because at the end of the day, I have that embedded in my head that my kids are going to be with me for the rest of their lives. So, um, do I want to find somebody? Of course, I'm human. Um, I do want a partner. Someone who I can share my life with, but I do think about like, is that person willing to spend the rest of my life knowing damn well that my kids are always going to be with me for the rest of their lives? So I kind of, I got kind of push that too.
Right,
So
right, right.
you know,
You're a
so
strong woman. Like, seriously, because I know it's a lot of weight on your shoulders, like literally. You know what I mean? Literally. You know what I mean? Not only with what you deal with your, kids 24/7, but your weight as well, what you want out of life and feelings, emotions, everything. You know what I mean? It's a lot to hold on one's shoulders and do it so well. So I commend you because I think you're like an inspiration to ladies out there, single mothers, to do it and do it with a smile on your face. You know what I mean? Stand proud, strong. You
and
still show up and show out.
one thing
Go
I
ahead.
do want to I do want to say it's you know we get a lot of we get shit on a lot, especially a lot of single mothers. But if a lot of these men were to step up and really do their part as the other parent, a lot of us wouldn't be going through a lot of shit that we go through. Because it's not fair for the mother to actually deal with all of it is stressful being a single mom, so it's not fair for us to go through all this bullshit on our own, and then we have these men living their lives like they don't have other children to take care of, because both of my son's dads, they've never acknowledged them, and they go on about their life like they don't even have my kids that they
Right.
need to take care of. And like, I trust me, I think if their dads would have been in their lives, um I think my life will be a little bit more easier.
Right.
um and I don't want to sound selfish, but sometimes as single moms, especially when you have your kids 24/7, sometimes you just want that break,
Right. Right.
because it's mentally draining at times, especially when you have special needs kids. Like, I go crazy
What
sometimes. So
What
sometimes
do
I
you
wish I just have that, would
some
just have
support?
like a whole day by myself and just
Right.
relax. And I don't have to go anywhere, just being at home
Just
and not
relax.
doing anything.
Just relax. What do
Yeah.
you think, Corey? Like, I'm glad you mentioned that because that is a problem with young men, black, brown, white, whoever, in the communities. What do you think we can do to change that? Because that's generational things. Wasn't always like that, but now, more so it is with these young men out here, you know, having multiple babies, baby mothers, and all this, and don't, not in their lives or whatever. Not all, you know what I mean, but it
No,
is a
not
big
all.
percentage. Yeah. What do you
What
think we
can
can do about it? Like, I mean, we got to have any solutions or like any answers. We could talk about it, but what can we do to change it? Because it's not changing.
it's not, but I think I would have an idea of what to do. Like, as soon as these men start paying child support, they have to be obligated to to take their kids, only because
Right.
you're paying child support, that doesn't make you a parent. You know what I'm saying? Being a parent, it's being there
I
for
think
your
that's the
kids.
problem. I think that's the problem though. The problem is
Obligate these
it's
men
easy
to
to
get
become
their
a
kids
parent,
and
but
being
you're not
involved
a
in their
parent.
lives.
But look, I think that is the problem. Kid people are becoming parents not ready or not capable or shouldn't even be parents. They go have sex and fuck and do their thing or whatever and then all of a sudden you're parents, you know what I mean, and you're not ready for that. You know what I mean? You don't know and you know what I mean? That's what's going on. So we need to practice more restraint. Dudes need to, I mean, whatever. If you're gonna be out here having sex, be protected. I know that's easier said than done, but we got to think about this part because that's what's really going on. Like people just out here having sex, getting girls pregnant, and they're not ready to be a father at all.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, that it's so easy for them to walk away than it is for a woman.
Or a woman, exactly.
We also have a choice. Whether we want to keep the child or not, that's a choice that we have. And I'm very pro-choice. I don't feel like anybody needs to tell me what to do with my body.
Right.
When it comes to having or carrying a baby. But I don't. We a lot of these men just go out there and have kids and not really take care of the responsibility, and yet they're able to have kids with multiple women, and sometimes a lot of their kids are the same damn age, and it's like,
Right.
dude, when are you gonna say enough's enough? Like, why are you, put it this way, some men are not, shouldn't be allowed to reproduce.
Right. Right. Right.
Because if you can't take care of one kid, why are you creating more?
Right.
You know
You're
what I
saying so that should
mean?
be a stipulation of this of child support, right? If somebody, if a dude
Exactly.
is on
And not
child
only
support,
that, and then they
has to
start
be
complaining.
restrictions.
Yeah, and then they start complaining, oh, well, all of my baby mamas have me on child support. Well, maybe you should take responsibility and freaking take care of yourself too. So why does it always have to be on the woman to take care of ourselves when,
And,
we have more men that can have kids with multiple women
right,
around the
it's a
same
double
time,
standard.
and they don't get shit for it.
Yeah, we know this. It's always been a double standard. We know this. That's nothing new. But check this out. Do you think too? The problem is too that um guys like what am I trying to say? Like are running around and having like you said multiple kids and doing all this with women. Another thing is not only they get women pregnant or you guys both have sex, but the problem is too people don't know each other, so it's like they really become sexually active and make babies, and then they find out 2 months later they hate each other because they never knew each other or anything. You know what I mean? That's the issue as well, right? I think
Yeah,
that happens a lot
yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's what I had said, in my last interview too with Javi, when he had asked me, is there anything I would want to share? And I did share this. Sometimes, we always go through that honeymoon stage with whoever we're dating, but sometimes you really have to think about, like, is this a person that you see yourself with for the rest of your life? Is this the
Right.
person that you want to be the mother or the father of your kids? Because everything's so good in the beginning, but sometimes people need to, like, really think about it. Yeah, everything's good in the beginning, but wait until, because shit changes when you move in together. When you're
Oh,
boyfriend
that's
and
when it
girlfriend,
really
it's all fun and
that's
games.
when
But
you
once,
really know someone, when you live with them.
and I'm the type of
Preach.
person that I cannot live with nobody right now. Like, I enjoy my
I feel you.
space.
Right, right.
So, once you move in with that
Peace.
person, that's when you really, really get to know that person. And then you start thinking about it. Damn, is this a person who I want to marry? Is this a person who I see myself for the rest of my life? Is this a person who I see myself having kids with? So these are questions that you really need to ask yourself before you make that next move, because it could
Facts.
make you or break you.
Facts.
So once
Yeah.
you have, you can get married and get divorced, and you will have no connection to this individual. But you could be with this individual, not be married and have kids, and you have a connection with this individual for the rest of your life. As long as that your child's still alive, that's a connection that you cannot escape from.
Right.
Regardless if you have if you guys co-parent well, regardless of anything, that's something that's going to be that you're going to be stuck with this person for the rest of your lives. So that's a lot of things that we don't think about. I didn't think about that. And because I was just thinking of that moment. But if I could tell myself, my 19-year-old self, what I know now, I think I would have told myself to wait. There's so much more to live for. There's, eventually one day you will have kids, and just enjoy your life and don't rush into anything. Because sometimes when you rush into stuff, you could either dig yourself in a bigger hole, or, it could work for the best of you. But, you just never know what life has in store for you when you make
Right.
decisions without really thinking about the consequences.
Right. Right. Well said. I want to ask you. I asked you before. I think um about a book. Maybe. Do you see yourself writing a book anytime in the future?
Not maybe in the future, because I still feel like I have a lot of life to live.
Right. The story is still being told. The book is still is right.
Yes,
Right.
and
It's not finished yet.
it has to do more with my kids. I just want to see what the future has in store for us. Maybe like in 10 years or so. Because my baby, he's still small. Well, he's still my baby. He's gonna be 5 years old. My son's gonna be 17 this year, and then my daughter's gonna be 12 in a couple of weeks. So, I still feel like
Your daughter's
um
still young. She'll come around.
yeah, so I still feel like my story, like if I were to write a book right now, my story's not gonna stop.
Right.
I still have more to live for. So, um as of right now, I do have a lot to say and a lot to talk about, but um maybe one day.
Do you feel? Let me ask you this: do you feel? Have you felt better, like since you've spoken out now and told your story? Like, was it a form of release? Like, how did you feel after your first interview? Like, with Hobby? Like, how did you feel afterwards?
I felt good actually, because I got a lot of good feedback from people that I
Hmm.
wasn't expecting to watch my interview.
Hmm.
So, there were other people that I knew that watched the interview that don't follow Javi's channel, but was they tuned in to watch my interview. And
Right.
they messaged me and they told me they enjoyed the interview, and they were just very surprised, you know, because I've gone through so much, and I'm still standing tall. And one thing about me, regardless of what I've gone through, like I don't let that really affect me physically. Like I'm
Hmm.
still the same me,
Hmm.
even though inside I might feel differently, but I never let that show. So I've
Right.
always been me. So like when people heard my story and they heard what I've been through, they're very surprised because I don't show it.
Right. Right.
So
That's
um
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's why people are so surprised, and it's a good thing that you tell your story, because it's like sometimes you don't know, like people can never know what somebody is really going through or been through. Like when I heard your story, I heard Javier's wife's story. I was like, wow. It's like
yeah.
you never know what someone is going through or been through, really, because I guess we all try our best to not mask it, but just still be happy and appear to be. You have to be. So behind that, no one never really knows what's really behind all that, and everyone has a story.
Yeah, and another thing that keeps me going too is, you know, when my mom told me about all the stuff that she went through as a little girl, even as you know, she got older and, all the shit that she went through with my dad.
Mhm.
It's nothing compared to what I've been through. So if my mom never folded or broke, why am I gonna do that? My mom till now, she still keeps going, like she has her issues here and there, and I'm not gonna go too in detail with that, but like my mom is someone who I admire a lot because she's gone through a lot. Like if my mom were to write a book like from the beginning till now, it's a sad story.
Right.
And it's because of my mom I'm still standing strong, because she's never folded, so why am I gonna fold? When
Right.
she's
Right.
when she's gone through worse shit than I have. So um I can honestly say I'm standing strong because of her.
That's great. I was gonna ask you, do you think she's an inspiration to you?
Oh, most definitely.
That's what's up.
Not only that, she's an inspiration, but she's also a person that I wouldn't want to be. And I say that respectfully because my mom was never the type to talk back to my father. She always kept everything inside.
Right.
She, my dad was very abusive, physically, mentally, and verbally abusive towards her. And um, that's one reason I say that she's someone that I don't want to be with, because I'm the complete opposite. I don't stay quiet. If someone, especially a guy, tries to treat me some type of way, I'm not one to stay quiet. And that's
Right.
one thing my mom, even when I've been in relationships, my mom will be like, "Oh, Corina, you shouldn't be that way. And you need to like respect him more." And it's like, no, I'm not gonna stay quiet only because you stayed quiet for such a long time. I'm not gonna do that. So my mom's a person that I didn't want to be like,
Right.
because she let my dad walk all over her, and that's something that I would refuse to let a man do with me. So
Mm. Mm. So again, back to the original question: is do you still believe in love, or do you think you will be in love again in the future? Ever?
do I
Real
believe in
love?
love? Of course.
Yes. Okay.
I think there's someone that's gonna be able to love me, and vice versa. Um, so when it happens, I mean, I would welcome it with open. Um, I don't see it happening anytime soon, though. Just because I'm very, very stubborn sometimes. Like, I know when someone tries to date me, I push them away. So, and it's mostly because I enjoy being by myself.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'm always on the go with my kids, so I don't want anybody to hold me back from doing the things that I want to do.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, then hey, at least I was able to experience some sort of love in my past. So
Right.
I mean, it
But I
wasn't
think
the best, but it wasn't the worst either.
right, and I think the best way is for it to happen naturally, like you said. Don't look for it or whatever. If it's supposed to
No,
be, it will be, and it will show you. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I never go out looking for it. It just comes to me. Yeah, I always been told, you sure know how to pick them, but it's not like I go out there and be like, oh, hey, I want to date you. I mean, they come to
Right.
me.
Right. Right. Right.
And I just try to give people the
Well,
benefit of the
maybe you
doubt,
like a certain type, and the type, is you
I
think
know
that's it?
I don't. Like,
Okay.
if you were to see my exes, they all look different.
Okay. Okay.
They're all different, like the way they are, the way they dress, the way they
Right.
look, short, tall, skinny, like they've all
Right.
been different.
So it's no preference. It's just who you. It just how it happens at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, As long as you have love, still, it's open. You're open to love. Is hope. You
I
know.
am. I'm open to it. I'm not looking for it. And I mean, the person that's gonna come into my life, they really, really need to know my situation, and they need to understand it. And if they don't, then it's I'm not
Kick
the one for
rocks.
them.
Rock. Right.
Yeah, and I make sure to let them know that in the beginning, because I don't want them to later on tell me, oh, well, you never said that. You should have told me that in the beginning. And, I make that very clear in the beginning of, we don't, we could date, but if they want something serious, this is my situation. And you want to, if you want to stick by me, then, you're more than welcome. But if this is too much for you, trust me, no hard feelings. You go on
Right.
about your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Pretty much. Pretty much. So with that being said, I guess we'll um end it there. I think we talked about enough. We could talk about more. I think Corey may come back for part two soon. You know what I mean? Because we got a lot more to talk about, but it's just a lot. But is there anything else you
I'm
want to?
not no
What?
I'm not no man hater. I'm not,
Yeah, let them know you're
I
not a man. Hey, let the guys know that, because we don't want them leaving here thinking like you know thinking anything other than what it is. So let them know, Corey, please.
yeah, I'm just speaking from all the stuff that I've been through. Not a man hater, of course. I'm still dating. I mean, I'm willing to date, and I don't just want to focus too much on that because I do have kids, and they're my priority. So, um, and I just want to say, whoever tapped in and watched my interview, thank you so much. I mean, I'm nobody special. I'm just, sharing my story.
You are
Um,
special, Corey. Stop it. Go ahead.
and I'm not here to bash on anybody, or I'm just telling my story. I've had, it's my good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm still standing strong regardless of what I've been through. And if one day, I happen to meet somebody, like I said, I will welcome that person with open arms. But right now my main focus is just my kids, and if that person does come to my life, then they better be ready. Because it's not going to be a walk in the park, that's for sure.
Right, right. That's what's up. And I mean, I think whoever comes into your life, regardless of that, man, to know that you are coming with, you are real. Like, that's one thing I have taken from this interview, and knowing you, that you are just a real person and you love someone for them. So I mean, to me, that's like priceless right there. So it's like, whatever else, the kids, everything, it's all good. As long as I know that you really love me, and it's like solid, it's all good. That's all you have to worry about. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're bad, but I think
Mhm.
you'll be okay, Corey. Just, you're okay anyway, but as far as the love part, you know, it'll happen how it needs to happen, how it should, and you deserve
Yeah, I
to
mean,
be
like I said, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, okay. At least
right.
I've experienced living with someone. I've experienced a heartbreak. I've experienced love. I've experienced motherhood. The only thing I've never experienced is getting married. That's the only thing. Whatever happened, I don't know. That's
Oh, I
not in
think I
my
asked you
plans.
that. Did you ever want to get married, or do you want to get married one day? Or is that out?
I don't know. I think marriage is a big deal. I mean, having kids is a big deal, but getting married, I don't know. I mean, I would love to. I would really love to. Now that I still have my dad alive, I mean, I would love for him to walk me down the aisle. And I know a lot of people are gonna be judging me. It's like, damn, girl, you have 3 baby daddies and you still want to fucking get married and walk down the aisle. I mean, yes, of course. I am a girl. I am a woman, and what girl wouldn't want to experience that? What woman wouldn't want to experience, the fact that you're gonna get married and your dad's walking next to you to give you to that man that's gonna be a part of your life for the rest of your life. So I mean, do I want to experience that? Yeah. Do I want it? Mm, if it happens, it happens. It's not something that oh my God, I want to get married. Oh, by this, I have to be a certain age to get married. No, I mean, if it happens, it happens. Honestly, if I were to get married, I'd rather have a small wedding and spend my money on a big honeymoon than invite all kinds of people that I know they're going to be criticizing me because they'll be like, hey, there's this girl thinking she's all that, knowing that she has 3 baby daddies and,
Why
she's
do you
getting
keep
married
saying
in a
that? That
white
don't mean
dress.
right.
Because regardless, people are so judgmental. So, I'd rather have like something so, if I were to get married, I would want something so small. I wouldn't want to spend a lot of money on my, in the wedding. So I'd rather spend that money
Right.
on the honeymoon.
Mhm. Javier said marriage is dope. It's people out there like it's a small percentage
I'm,
of people that really got to experience real love and got married and happy. Man, you know what I mean? It's like wow, more power. You know what I mean? Because it's a small percentage, especially of this newer like people our age and newer. It's real rare. You know what I mean? So salute to Javier and
and a lot
Rosie,
of
man.
people,
Those people that can do that. Go ahead.
yeah, I that's some, Javi and Rosie, those are 2 people that I, look up to because, nowadays not everybody lasts a long time.
Right.
I
Fact.
think a lot of people like the idea of getting married and having their dress and that party or anything, but I think in reality it's more of a fantasy than what they
Right.
really
He's yeah,
want.
right.
So
That's facts. He said the idea of it. Facts. That's what people think about. They don't, like you said, think about long term and know when you get married, this is supposed to be for life. You feel me? But
yeah, and plus I don't
people,
think I would want to change my last name if I were to get married.
oh shit, what?
I don't.
Wow. Well, you can keep it like they keep the middle, like you could say the middle, then the last name, right, of your
No, I
husband.
don't even want to hyphenate
Oh
it.
wow,
No, I just want to keep my last name. And
wow.
it's
See,
like, why does a woman always have to change everything for the man? How come that man can't take the last name? If I were to get married, he should change his last name to mine.
wow. That's why she's the boss. She is the boss right there. That's how you got your name.
Oh, is that why they call me La Patrona?
That's it right there. That's it right there. Now we know. Now we know. Wow. Well, I guess we'll end it right there for now. You know what I mean? Thank you, Corey. Thank you. It was an incredible
No,
interview.
thank you. No, thank you, and thank you everybody who tapped in, tuned in, and left comments. I don't know if they left any negative comments, but it's all good. I
It
don't get
was all type
offended.
of shit. Yeah, it's trolls or whatever. But it was more love than hate. Believe that. 90% love
Yeah.
out there. So thank you everyone who tuned in. Show love. Shout out my boy Javier. The nasty crew. Shout out to
Oh
Nate
yeah.
Love. All everyone out there.
Everybody.
Thank you, and thank you, Corey, for coming on my show. It was an honor
No,
to
thank you
have
for
you.
having me. Thank you for having me, and thank you for DD as well too. She reached
Yeah,
out to
shout out to
me.
Didi. Yep, that's my
Yeah.
producer.
It's waited. I'm so sorry. I don't know if DD is a he or a she.
She's a she. It's a she.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to say it.
Nah, it's a she.
She's a he and she's actually a she. But
Nah.
yeah,
Shout out
thank
to
you.
Didi.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for reaching out. And I had a good time.
That's good.
And I'm glad I didn't cry. I told D1 I wasn't gonna cry.
I didn't want to make you cry. Even a couple times when I seen it going there, I'm like, try to change the subject. I don't want you to cry.
I'm such a crybaby. I'm gonna tell you right now. I cry for everything. So
it's all good. Tears of joy. It's all good. But
yeah,
thank you again, Corey. I really appreciate it, and much love, success, greatness, everything. I think you're a great, outstanding, independent, strong, intimidating, beautiful woman. All of that. You
I
know
don't
what I'm
know about
saying?
that intimidating.
Intimidating.
Part,
A little bit intimidating. So, you know, guys, you gotta have your shit right. She, you know, she's intimidating. And she may beat you up too. And she got brothers, you know what I mean? So, you know, don't come over there playing around, man.
Hey, that's
But
more intimidating than me being intimidated.
hey, so just be ready though. But just come real, you know what I mean? That's a real woman right there, man. To be respected as such. So thank you again, Corey. Really appreciate you, and we'll do it again soon. And have a great
For
rest of your
sure.
night.
You too. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye bye. Much love.
Bye.
Peace, everyone.